What's going on, Savage Nation? Savage Civilian back with another new video. Today I am going over top 5 must-have AR-15 accessories. Whether you're a new shooter, whether you're looking to get better, whether you're looking for a home defense gun, whether you're looking for a homestead gun, whatever the case may be, these 5 accessories are an absolute must. I will break down each one, why you need it, what I recommend, and what I recommend if you're on a budget. Let's get started. Number 1 would be a red dot or an LPVO. If you can't properly aim, there's no point in a rifle. I will say there's going to be people that argue iron sights are fine for a couple 100 yards, which they are, but at the end of the day, we want to be as accurate as possible, as fast as possible, as precise as possible. And with all the new technology and red dots, etc., they are just superior. You could have the old school argument, they're superior. My usual rule of thumb is on a gun that's 100 yards or in, or a CQB rifle, a home defense rifle, I'm going to run a red dot. By the way, I will leave links to Amazon or affiliates down below to everything I post here to make it easy for you. My go-to bump in the night rifle, as well as my work rifle, is a Mark 18. This is a EOTech EXPS 2.0. This is what I would recommend for something under 100 yards, a home defense gun, a shit hits the fan, a truck gun, whatever the case may be. EOTech is my favorite due to window size. There's 2 other very high-end options that are reputable, which would be like an Aimpoint T2 or even an Aimpoint Pro. If you wanted to get a little more budget conscious, I will link a Holosun that I have on another AR-15 that I did a budget build on. That's also very good for the money, especially if you're not planning to beat the crap out of it. EOTech is my favorite. Budget would be the Holosun that I'll drop below. Now, if you are going 100 yards further, now don't get me wrong, that EOTech is capable of significantly more than 100 yards. But my biggest thing with shooting, and especially in my line of work, is PTI, which is positive threat identification. If I can zoom and get a better picture of something that's 300-400 yards out, I'd much rather do that than have to compensate with a red dot. The best bang for the buck is probably the Vortex Viper. However, I do run one above that on my SPR build, which is the Vortex Razor HD. This is a 1:6. It is a phenomenally clear optic. The one on it is superb. Better. I have some Night Force NX8 Tacker 1.6. The glass on this is definitely more clear. I would say if you want to spend the $1,000 range, the Razor HD would be the way to go. If you wanted more budget, the Viper would be the way to go. If you wanted super budget but still good quality, the SIG MSR is a great optic, and it's also 1:6. And they can be had for $299 to $399, and they come with a mount, where these higher end ones don't come with a mount. You're paying, $1K plus just for the optic. Okay. Now that we have that out the way, I will say a weapon light is just as important. You can't shoot what you can't see, just like everything else, right? If you run a light on your pistol, all my pistols have a Surefire, a TLR, or something on them. A weapon light is very much needed, especially in a home defense gun or, a shit hits the fan rifle or whatever the case. My SPR is a Noveske. This is an Afghan, and I run a Cloud Rain 3 on here. This light is about $450 to $500. The reason I run this on here is the Cloud Defense light has the longest punch, in my opinion, as in it goes the furthest. I don't care about super bright and wide on this rifle. I want to see distance. Now, on my Mark 18, I run the Surefire, which is the Mini. This is their turbo model. And this is a very, very bright light, but it's also wide fast. So if I go into a doorway of my house or I'm walking down the stairs, it's going to light up that whole stairs, where the cloud that's on my Noveski will just beam. I mean, it's going to blind you, but it's not going to give you as bright and wide of a picture. Budget note of that would be the Streamlight ProTac. I will link that below as well. They are phenomenal for the money. Any of my friends that are just getting into building a rifle and want a light, I usually steer them that direction if they don't want to spend $500 plus on a light right off the rip. Streamlight's quality, they're great reputation, they have great customer service, great quality control, and you could have those with a mount and a pressure pad for usually under $140. So that's optics, that's lights. The next one that is severely overlooked would be a sling. If, in my opinion, a sling is the same as a holster for a pistol. This is your holster for your rifle. If you don't have a 2-point sling, you are not training properly. You are not getting the best benefit of your rifle. You're not going to be as accurate. There is so many reasons why a sling is a must-have, and knowing how to use it is also a very big deal. The reason I run the 2-point slings is because they're much easier for me to use. Realistically, you should be able to take your rifle like so, and with one hand go like this, and I am dead centered on this optic. I'm everywhere I need to be without even using this hand. This is the holster to my rifle. It's very simple. And when I'm down and I transition to my pistol or whatever the case may be, my rifle's always right here and I come right back up. A sling is so important. If you ever want to take a rifle course, whether it be home defense, a tactical course, you're going to need a sling. They're not going to let you take one without a sling. That's how important they are. They get slept on. I see tons of rifles online of people's builds, which they can be crappy builds. Some even have Gucci builds, and they don't have a sling. And you know they're not actually training with it if they don't have a sling. It's an Instagram gun. Fourth can be controversial, but I think a trigger, most mil-spec triggers are fine, but with the triggers that are out now, why not get better and be able to shoot more accurate if you can? I typically run Geisley triggers, but LaRue also makes a trigger that's usually sub $100 that's light years better than any mil-spec trigger. So that one I wouldn't say is needed, but it will definitely make your rifle funner to shoot, easier to shoot. If you're doing precision stuff and you want to get more accurate with your rifle, you can get a 2-stage, so you'll be more accurate. It's just going to give you a lot more availability to know where that wall is. So I would say a trigger upgrade is not an absolute, but it's benefit for sure. And then lastly would be your furniture. Making sure that your grip is comfortable, making sure that your stock is comfortable. I want this to be comfortable, I want this to be comfortable, and I want this to be comfortable. They're all going to play their own thing, right? So most of my stocks are Magpul CRTs. They're comfortable stocks. If not, I run like the B5s or the BCMs. Any sort of grip, I like a kind of angled, but not too angled. And then I C-clamp my rifles for the most part, which means I hold my rifle like a C. It puts my thumb on my light, makes it very easy to activate without moving. And I also get much better recoil control like this. So on this rifle, I usually run like a BCM hand stop. So I always know right here is right here, and I'm clamped. I'm locked in. It's very easy. On my SBR, I have a lot less real estate here, so I run a stubby just because I still kind of want that C-clamp, but it gives me a little more room to arc my hand there like that and still get where I need to be and be quick and on time. I could also adjust in here, and I'm still on my light all the time and comfortable here. So those are my 5 must-have upgrades. If you don't have one of those items, you're doing yourself a disservice. You are not getting the proper training. You could argue with me on that. It's just facts. And why cut yourself short? There's cost-effective ways to do this. There's also ways to just spend and get it all done at once. I will link all these. As far as slings go, by the way, Blue Force Gear / Vickers Sling, they are not only a sponsor of this channel, but they are, in my opinion, the best slings on the market. So I will leave a link below to their website. And yeah, hopefully this video was informational. If you have any questions, comments, drop them below. As I say, I get back to every single comment. It might take me an hour, it might take me a day, but I will respond. Please subscribe. We're so close to getting to 3,500 subs. If you're new here, we recently became monetized. So if you don't mind becoming a member to the channel, dropping a super gift, anything like that, all the funds come directly back to the channel. It just lets me buy stuff or do cool stuff that we can film and bring here to you guys. As always, I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video.